Mohammed, do you feel that Netanyahu today has sent a direct message to Donald Trump that I don't believe in this ceasefire. The ceasefire was not taken into confidence, and apparently also rejecting all the efforts made by Islamabad.
100%, 100%. See, firstly, the efforts made by Islamabad, US had appointed Pakistan as a to change their image. But let me tell you, Vadanilu, one thing, a very interesting thing I'll point out over here. It was all planned, drafted by US, given to Pakistan, ceremonial, and Pakistan was to draw the plan. I'll tell you how I have inferred this.
So is White House lying or is Islamabad lying as far as the inclusion of Lebanon is concerned in the 10-point peace program?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. In the first week of February, America and Iran, they met up. They had a very, very fine meeting. They spoke about peace. They said it's a good beginning. They should continue it further. Good start. Right, the same month. So beginning of February, end of February, America attacks Iran along with Israel. They finish the leadership. Now tell me, on one hand, you are talking to somebody for peace, diplomatic talks. You are engaging them in talks, and then you go and attack them.
But is this actual ceasefire what we had expected? I mean, we thought that Netanyahu will also stop, but it seems that he stands out. He's not ready to accept any sort of a ceasefire. He has his own political compulsions because there are elections in Israel in few months. Similarly, Donald Trump has to face elections, the midterm elections in November. So Donald Trump is under compulsion that he needs a peace plan at the moment politically for himself, and Netanyahu, he needs to continue the war to politically survive. So how does this ceasefire come into fruition now? Will there be an actual ceasefire? That's what everybody is talking about.
Okay, I doubt there could be an actual ceasefire because the Lebanese Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaf Salam, his office has said that they are trying their best to ensure they have termed Israel as the killing machine. They are trying to stop the killing machine from going ahead and doing it.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. If you thought that Israel and America war was over, there was complete ceasefire, well, we are all mistaken, because a very unfortunate news that Israel carried out a large wave of airstrikes across Lebanon yesterday, which killed and wounded hundreds of people, while officials said that the war against the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah continued despite a ceasefire in Iran. Now, Israel described it as the largest wave of airstrikes in this conflict, hitting more than 100 of what it called Hezbollah command centers and military sites in 10 minutes. Can you imagine that the entire site was pummeled in 10 minutes? 182 people have died. Now, the Lebanese Health Ministry said that at least 182 people have been killed, a number that is likely to rise, and 890 wounded. Now, this brings us to some very crucial questions. Now, what happens to the ceasefire? What I'm also told is that there's uncertainty around the Hormuz Strait as well, because the Iranian news agency has reported that oil traffic through the Strait of Hormuz was halted again hours after the first tankers were allowed to pass, citing Israel's Lebanon strikes. Now, Trump earlier had said that US will be helping with the traffic buildup in the strait. Now, Lebanon has come under intense attack after Israel said that it was not covered by the agreement, contradicting mediator Pakistan. Lebanon's health ministry said that hundreds had been killed or wounded in the new round of strikes. So what happens to the ceasefire? Is it really the end of the Iran war? And if Pakistan seems to be undermined, or the Pakistan Accord, or the Pakistan, all the initiative which it was taking, because Friday is the day when these peace negotiations will start in Islamabad. So, is this really the end of war, or has Netanyahu succeeded in failing Trump's ceasefire? These are the big questions which we will be asking. Joining me this evening is a very special guest, Muhammad Ali Shah, who's an actor. He's a former military officer and a motivational speaker. You've seen him on channels across the news platforms. Thank you so much, Muhammad, for joining. It's a real pleasure to have you on the program. And I would like to begin with this serious subject on how Lebanon has been attacked. 182 people have been killed. It's not a joke. But has Netanyahu really managed to undermine Trump's ceasefire? Or in a way, he has said it in very direct terms that this ceasefire is not acceptable to Netanyahu.
Right, Neelu, thank you. Firstly, thank you very much for speaking to me and getting me on your show. In fact, your shows are very, very popular, and I've been following your shows also. No, Nilu, the fact is, I just about a minute back, you'll even be more disheartened to know that the figures from 180 something, which you mentioned, have gone up to 252, in fact, of the death toll, and many wounded. So it is actually one of the biggest in attacks in Lebanon, I would call it that way. And when the ceasefire was announced, that time, I don't think, of course, Israel was not taken into confidence, and Israel later on, they have said that Netanyahu's office has said that Lebanon is not in the ceasefire zone where the ceasefire agreement has taken place. Have a heart. How can it not be? Also on 17th of September 2024, there was a very, very solid attack on it was cyber attack through pagers basically on Hezbollah. Where imagine a cyber attack where you lose your limbs, you lose your eyes, where you lose your fingers, physical casualty, physical damage. Till now we've heard of cyber attacks on, they've hacked your servers, your email, your password, right? Yeah, so now because Israel was not taken into confidence, Israel said, okay, I don't go by that. And Netanyahu, I don't think he's ruthless. He doesn't, unko farak nahi padta. He has just gone ahead in Gaza, see what they've done. Just today morning, I saw a very disheartening reel, in fact, of these kids playing in Gaza, and they are playing with a dead body, a dummy dead body. They're lifting it, and in our childhood, we used to play Ghar Ghar, House House. We used to play these kind of games. Yeah, I mean, they're very sad because that's all these kids have seen. They have come to the stage of being a toddler just seeing this. So Netanyahu.
Mohammed, do you feel that Netanyahu today has sent a direct message to Donald Trump that I don't believe in this ceasefire. This ceasefire was not taken into confidence, and apparently also rejecting all the efforts made by Islamabad?
100%, 100%. See, firstly, the efforts made by Islamabad, US had appointed Pakistan as to change their image. But let me tell you, one thing, a very interesting thing I'll point out over here. It was all a plan drafted by US, given to Pakistan, ceremonial, and Pakistan was to draw the plan. I'll tell you how I have inferred this. There was a draft sent by US when Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif's office tweeted it. The government of Pakistan which means it could be a draft penned by Donald Trump or by America, sent to Pakistan, which they've just, in the exuberance and the excitement, they have just copy-pasted that. Because from Pakistan, it will say, our government says, government decides, but government of Pakistan. So it is now Donald Trump has got a strong message from Netanyahu that, listen, as I had said earlier, the war will end only when I say it ends. Yes, he has made a statement earlier, Netanyahu. So yes, you are right by saying that he sent out a message to Donald Trump saying that we do not agree with the ceasefire. We will do what we have to do. And later on, he comes out with a bunkum that, Lebanon does not come in the ceasefire zone and such things. In fact, the Prime Minister of Lebanon, Nawaf
even White House said that no, Lebanon was not part of the ceasefire, whereas Islamabad clearly said that. So who is who is trying to hoodwink? I'm not able to understand. Is it White House which is lying, or which is Islamabad? Because everybody assumed that there will be a complete halt on any kind of strike, but here Netanyahu stands out. So is White House lying, or is Islamabad lying as far as the inclusion of Lebanon is concerned in the 10-point peace program?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. In the first week of February, America and Iran, they met up. They had a very, very fine meeting. They spoke about peace. They said it's a good beginning. They should continue it further. Good start. Right? The same month. So beginning of February, end of February, America attacks Iran along with Israel. They finish the leadership. Now tell me, on one hand, you are talking to somebody for peace, diplomatic talks. You are engaging them in talks, and then you go and attack them. So they have, hoodwink would be a big understatement. They have really caused a lot of damage. And what Donald Trump has done to the entire world, the next president of America will spend the next 4 years apologizing to the world for getting a president like Donald Trump. And yes, most certainly it is. So when they did that with Iran, I don't trust US at all. Donald Trump is known for his lies, for his U-turns. Just allow me, in 1964, Donald Trump in school, he claimed that there was a baseball match played between his school and some other school, and he was the man of the match. And this was in the local print media, by the way, about this match. Later on, years later, his classmate confirmed that such a match never ever took place only. So Donald Trump Saab is a compulsive liar. In 1996, Mike Tyson was a very big boxing star. Evander Holyfield was a very, very big boxing star. I know this well enough because my name is Muhammad Ali. I'm a boxer as well. So I took keen interest in that. And he spent $1 million in their boxing bout. But all lies. Donald Trump Saab has, it's unimaginable. In 2009, he acquired the Trump golf course. And he says he buried his family members over there who had died. He like a graveyard kind of, but it was more of a strategical importance than of a emotional importance. Though his family's graves are there, he claimed that there was a river flowing from there. Okay, look. He says that the river, the water had turned red out of the blood of the American soldiers who had died in the Civil War, which had happened in the 18th century. And there were only 10 casualties. Only one Civil War. There were 10 casualties. So Donald Trump Saab, all bunkum. I don't want to come to his, but very interestingly, in his last tenure,
many people, Muhammad, are saying, and they are reacting that this ceasefire, which was brought in, was a fake ceasefire. Now, when you see that Lebanon has been attacked, so many people have been killed, and we still do not know we don't see very clear contours of this peace plan. The negotiation will begin on Friday. Now, what shape it will take over the next 2 weeks, we do not know. But does this ceasefire look like a fake ceasefire?
Of course, very much. It does look like it is a fake ceasefire. You get a country which is ceremonial. I don't think Pakistan had much of a role in it. You get it as a dummy, and they do exactly what you do. It's only ceremonial, and then you don't even comply with it. Doesn't Donald Trump have enough brains to take Israel into confidence first? If it was a joint operation by Israel and America, he's duty bound to first consult Israel and then say that I have planned this. Are you in agreement with me or not? Or you take it for granted? America has done military actions in over 100 countries. Till today, unfortunately, no one has had the guts to stand up to America and say that, oh, what you have done is wrong. In 1953, they did the same thing in Iran. In 1954, they did it in Guatemala. In 1973, they did it in Chile. In 2003, America did it in Iraq. In 3 weeks, they made Iraq. They, in fact, on all bunkum pretexts, they killed Saddam Hussein. They killed Colonel Gaddafi. They did the same thing in Syria. They went on, and there's no end to it. Recently, about 3 months back, they did that with Venezuela. They picked up the president from his bedroom mostly. Come on, heights. So no one has had the courage. Okay, let me take the opportunity to tell something very interesting to you and your viewers.
No, but since you are talking about the grit and the courage, who can speak against Donald Trump? But don't you think that Netanyahu stands out? It is Netanyahu who seems to be pulling all the shots. It seems that Donald Trump is almost playing like a second fiddle to Netanyahu, the way the things are happening over the last 24 hours.
I agree with you. There could be a possibility that, as a lot of people are seeing this, that there was Epstein files and Netanyahu might be having something against Donald Trump, and that a lot of people have come forward and said, no, no, it's too frivolous a reason for which Donald Trump would not start a war. Is Donald Trump a very deep person? He himself is a frivolous person. I mean, you cannot rule out, of course. And secondly, the midterm elections are coming; they're around the corner. So the memory is short term. Right now, you put the attention. By the time, of course, it's documented. It's there, or it's the Epstein file is documented. Fine, I agree. But then, till the time of the midterm elections, the attention would go there. That could. I'm not saying that is a possibility. That is the reason. That could be one of the possibilities. Secondly, Netanyahu also said that the war will end when we call it, when we say it, not when America says it. He's said this on record earlier, few days back. So most certainly, I mean, it seems that way. Netanyahu has gone ahead. Okay, I will bombard in Lebanon, and Lebanon's health minister Rakan Nasruddin, he has appealed for international assistance. Rakan Nasruddin has, because he's troubled. The whole country is troubled right now. So most certainly, no, and I will tell you, just give me a minute. I will tell you something very interesting. In 1980, because I mentioned about midterm elections right now, no? So how Donald Trump is going to be getting a beating in the midterm elections. Let me tell you, in 1980, that time Jimmy Carter was the president of America. And there was the Shah of Iran, that Mohammad Shah Raza Pahlavi. Now, he had run off to America, and they had ousted the prime minister of Iran in 1953, who had come to Mohammad Mosdi, who had come to power in 1951 because he had nationalized the oil refineries. So America was ousted from there. Now what happens? The youth of Iran, they stormed into the US embassy in Iran, and they picked up 52 diplomats as hostages, which they kept for 444 days. When all the diplomatic talks failed, America launched a military operation against Iran. It has been not the biggest failure of America. It's been the biggest failed military operation in the world. So what it did was, just imagine this. 8 helicopters take off from America. They come to Iran to rescue the 52 diplomats, along with C-17 Globemasters, Hercules Globemasters. They come, and one aircraft came empty, that they will take the hostages back. None of the 8 helicopters that had come from America to Iran went back. None. Not one single helicopter. I'll tell you what had happened. So they planned this operation. One helicopter's rotor did not work. It crashed. One helicopter, there was a hydraulic leakage. One helicopter got stuck in the sandstorm. One helicopter went and crashed against their fixed wing. That's the Hercules C-17 Globemaster. So it was a disaster. And
no,
then,
but what I'm also reading, Mohammed, is that the Americans are keeping their troops ready. They are keeping their helicopters and planes ready. If need be, they can attack again. So what does this mean actually? And do you see the possibility of another escalation, or both sides, whether it is Iran or America, they will try not to escalate? What are the chances? What are the possibility of another escalation like what we've seen almost for the past 39 days?
okay, unfortunately, if I have to tell you, I see it as escalating. I do not see it cooling down right now, coming down. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long drawn haul. This war is going to continue. And this is, it's going to be a disaster till now. Fortunately,
no, escalation as in what we have seen over the last 39 days. Today is the 40th day of the war. Yesterday, the ceasefire was announced. But is this actual ceasefire what we had expected? I mean, we thought that Netanyahu will also stop, but it seems that he stands out. He's not ready to accept any sort of a ceasefire. He has his own political compulsions because there are elections in Israel in few months. Similarly, Donald Trump has to face elections, the midterm elections in November. So Donald Trump is under compulsion that he needs a peace plan at the moment. Politically for himself, and Netanyahu, he needs to continue the war to politically survive. So how does this ceasefire come into fruition now? Will there be an actual ceasefire? That's what everybody is talking about.
Okay, I doubt there could be an actual ceasefire because the Lebanese Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaf Salam, his office has said that they are trying their best to ensure they've termed Israel as the killing machine. They are trying to stop the killing machine from going ahead and doing it. So there is going to be, it's not a global war as yet, thankfully, but yes, escalation in the sense that, they could, like, Israel has got its proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi. Iran has got to get their oxygen from Iran. Iran helps them. So most certainly these proxies are going to be there. IRGC, which was formed in 1979. In fact, one thing, okay, Neelu, I have to commend Iran over here that they have fought this war very, very intelligently. Very intelligently. Though they may not be a ceasefire, what they did was a couple of things. Now, they have the IRGC has 31 districts under them. So IRGC, first they decentralize their entire command. They decentralize the entire district, that in case there was an attack, you don't have to wait for the approval from top, from the center. They are decentralized. You have independent command. Go ahead. Deem as you deem fit. Do as you deem fit. Go ahead. Just go ahead. So that's what Iran did. Secondly, Iran also, they had prepared for this for a very, very long time. So they were prepared. They knew this was going to happen. When it will happen, they were not sure, but it's going to happen anytime. So that preparation was there. Third is I'll come to where America is preparing for troops now. I'll come. That's again a very interesting aspect. So third is their geographical location. Iran is like a ball. It's like a fortress. It's surrounded by mountains and rugged mountains and peaks. So anyone who tries to do boot on ground, which America has been threatening, if America does boot on ground, I presume, and I would probably be one of your first guests who would say there could be a change in regime if America sends boot on ground, but not of Iran, sorry, of America's. How? Because anyone who puts boot on ground in Iran over there is going to get a thrashing, sound thrashing. There is going to be heavy casualty, a lot to pay. Donald Trump has already made a big mistake.
I'm just going to interrupt you shortly because now, the breaking news has started coming in, and I'm reading it out from what I'm reading on The Guardian. The US president has warned that the US will start shooting again unless Iran fully complies with the deal. Now, as we were discussing, the Hormuz Strait, Iran had closed down because of the strikes which happened on Lebanon. Now, Middle East ceasefire in serious doubt as Israel assaults Lebanon and Iran blocks the oil tankers. This is what the news is coming in. Trump, and I'm just going to read out so that the viewers can understand what the detail is. Trump tells Iran to comply with the real agreement. Donald Trump has just posted a tweet on the Truth Social saying, and I'm just opening that if for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen before. It was agreed a long time ago, and despite all of the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons and the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. In the meantime, our great military is loading up and resetting, looking forward actually to its next conquer. America is back. This is what the tweet a short while back was there. And of course, all across the social media, these images of Lebanon being attacked are doing the rounds. So what does one say? I mean, what you were saying a short while back, that the full chances of another escalation, are we heading towards another escalation? And can we safely now position ourselves to say that this ceasefire has failed?
Oh, yes, I would call it that this ceasefire has failed. It didn't last a few hours also. And in fact, people were saying that, okay, during Op Sindoor also, when Donald Trump had announced, firstly, he had no business to announce the ceasefire for us and Pakistan during Op Sindoor. Secondly, a few hours after that, Pakistan fired, but they fired by mistake because apparently the communication had not reached. But here, that's not the case. Most certainly, I cannot compare it with what happened in Op Sindoor after declaring ceasefire when Pakistan fired. So most certainly, I would say that the ceasefire has failed, and I can definitely see an escalation. Because now Iran is like a wounded lion. A wounded lion becomes more dangerous. Now there are two aspects to it. I say that Iran. Imagine the plight of any human being who has lost his father, who has lost his mother, who has lost his small daughter, who has lost his wife, who has lost his sister, who has lost five family members, will get personal, right? It's human rights psychology. I'll talk about the other aspect of the nation first aspect. Imagine the hierarchy, the leadership of your country, it gets wiped out. Your supremo, who is considered above the president also, has been killed. Your defense minister, your IRGC chief, so imagine the psychological anger of that nation, of that person who's already in mourning. They retaliated immediately. They fired at the military bases of American military bases in countries like Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, in UAE, where there is no official American base as well. They fired there as well because they were
Right.
mourning. They were angry.
In
They could
fact,
not.
Mohammed, Hezbollah has also reacted, and Hezbollah has accused Israel of a violation of the ceasefire. But Benjamin Netanyahu said that his forces, and this is what he said today, that Benjamin Netanyahu said that his forces will continue to attack Iran-backed Islamist group wherever necessary. And I'm just going to read out the tweet what Benjamin Netanyahu has said, that we are continuing to strike Hezbollah with force, precision, and determination. He wrote on the social media that our message is clear. Anyone who acts against the Israeli civilians, we will strike them. We will continue to hit Hezbollah wherever necessary until we fully restore security to the residents of the north of Israel. This is what Benjamin Netanyahu has said. But the think tank experts have already started talking about the misinterpretation of the ceasefire deal with regards to Lebanon. Now, my question to you, Mohammed, is the ceasefire heading towards, or is it on the verge of collapse? This is what several think tank people are also saying. In your view, do you see this ceasefire collapsing, or maybe on the verge of collapse now?
Oh, well, it may not collapse at the moment because it was a strategical pause. Both the countries needed a break as well. They were tired fighting, and now suddenly it was a good relief, a good breath of fresh air which came in that, okay, there's a ceasefire has been declared. And hours after that, within minutes, I mean, we saw Israel attacking Lebanon. But they said, nahi, wo pataka chhod diya, koi baat nahi, it's okay, that happened, and that US will take care of. But then, even if it doesn't collapse, both the sides are going to be preparing for something worse. Donald Trump over here has got stuck very badly, very, very badly. He does not know how to exit from this. Was a golden chance for Donald Trump to make a graceful exit from this war. Golden chance which he has lost, in fact, because of Israel, because of Donald Trump, because of Netanyahu. And Tulsi Gabbard also had said, that is not our war. Many of the American top brass have left. They've resigned. Well, the army chief from US, that was for a different reason, actually, not pertaining to the war, but different his disagreement with the defense secretary over promotion of senior officers. Fine. What I have been told is why the American chief of army staff, General Brandy, why he went is because there was a controversy of 4 officers. 2 were blacks, 2 were women. And the defense secretary was not happy with the promotion. So the chief, that's what I've been told. I don't know how far it's confirmed or not. It could be.
No, but coming back to the recent escalation, what we have seen in Lebanon, many people feel that Israel's strikes on Lebanon can be understood both as an effort to drive a wedge between Iran and its proxies, and also as a response because Israel was completely sidelined in the original ceasefire discussions. You also feel so that probably this escalation on Lebanon could be a result of this. It's like driving a wedge between Iran and its proxies. And also, probably Netanyahu is expressing his resentment that, look, you completely sidelined me in the original ceasefire talks.
Most certainly, yes. Because it's like taking a person for granted. It's like you don't even consult that person. So Israel was not consulted. America had taken it for granted. Israel will have to comply by what we are telling them to do. But it's the other way around. It's Israel which is calling the shots. And yes. America has to listen to Israel. Donald Trump has to listen to what Netanyahu is saying. Let me tell you, though Donald Trump had given threats he hinted towards nuclear warfare, that entire civilization going to be wiped out tonight, and there's that. And see, those barking dogs seldom bite. The thundering clouds seldom give rain. In fact, Donald Trump could say whatever he wanted. That definitely is not the reason why Iran they got pressurized into a ceasefire. Fine,
True.
they need a break. Their wish. They came on a ceasefire. But now
Well,
Israel most certainly they felt left out somewhere. Israel felt we have not been consulted. Imagine in a single day, 252 fatal casualties, 1,605 injuries. I mean, as per the figures might increase further.
yeah.
Just before my interview with you, I checked the figures. I was like, oh God, it was quite alarming. It
Yes.
was quite shocking, in fact. So most certainly, Israel is definitely conveying a message to US that listen, we told you, we got you into this war. We told you. I believe Prince Salman from Saudi Arabia egged Donald Trump on to go and attack Iran. Is he a kid? Doesn't he have a mind of his own?
Netanyahu is feeling sidelined. He feels that, okay, we started the war, we got you in, and now you signed the ceasefire agreement without consulting us. So this could be the strike on Lebanon could be a result of that, which means.
Yes, I certainly see that. And secondly, Israel doesn't honor anything. They are not bothered. You know, when Donald Trump gave a threat that whole civilization is going to be wiped out, everyone thought he might go nuclear. What if it does go nuclear? The way they went in 1945 at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, America did that. But they did not bombard Tokyo. There's another story to that. I will come to that. I'll tell you.
Right.
But they were hinting towards nuclear. America will not go nuclear, I feel. Iran will not go nuclear. Israel, yes. When it
Israel
comes to
can go nuclear.
Israel can go nuclear. I don't trust Israel on that. They
Right.
certainly can. They certainly has the. People might say no. That's too far fetched. Well,
But the moment you talk about this nuke button, I think we'll have to just keep our fingers crossed, pray that hope this doesn't happen. But this is surely a story which is continuously developing, and we'll have to keep a close watch. But as what all the think tank and the experts are saying, that this ceasefire looks like on the verge of collapse because Netanyahu is feeling sidelined, that they were the ones to bring in America into the war, and America and Israel America and Iran have signed a ceasefire deal without consulting Netanyahu. So keep giving your feedback to this video as to what you feel about this whole story about how Lebanon has been attacked just hours after this ceasefire was brought in between America and Iran. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Mohammed Ali, for joining. Thank you very much.